Make sure you're standing with your feet shoulder width apart and your arms at your sides. Close your eyes. And I want you to imagine that you are floating above a pool of golden light. And with each breath in, you are drawing some of that golden light into your body. We're going to breathe in 8 times. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Each breath deeper and deeper with your diaphragm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Deeper. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. You've drawn that golden light into your body, filled it up from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. And suddenly, you find yourself encased in clay. And each movement is using that energy that you gathered up and pushing against that clay. You are molding. And starting with your fingers and moving to your wrists and up your arm, that energy is very tense. Shift it up into your elbows and to your shoulders. Start with one muscle at a time and try and claw your way through that clay. Focus on the name of the quality of movement, molding. Every movement in your body should be fighting against itself with as much tension as you can create within your own muscles. What is it like to be molding with your toes or molding with your knees? Try exploring molding at different levels, closer to the ground, or up above your head. Are you molding out, stretched in front of you, or exploring the place behind you? Try building up more tension in some of the muscles you've already explored. If you need to, go back to just your finger and shift that tension all the way back up into your wrist and your elbow and your shoulder. Very slowly, as you mold your way through that clay, it begins to break away, and water rushes in, and you suddenly find yourself floating in a vast ocean. And you look up above you and you see the sun rays coming in through the tops of the waves, and below you is black, and you are floating. Some of that tension has left your body, and that energy allows you to move more freely. How is floating different from molding? The key is to envision where you are and let that inform the exploration of your body. What does floating feel like to you? Are you picturing yourself swimming? If you're picturing yourself swimming, try releasing that and just letting the water move your body. If you've just been floating through the water, try exploring how to propel yourself through the water. But always keep the name of the quality of movement in mind. You are floating. What is it like to float with your neck? Or with your jaw? Have you been floating and exploring the space around your head? Or rolling your ankles and exploring closer to the ground? Really imagine that water and what it feels like to release some of that energy as you float through the ocean. You suddenly begin to rise up, and you break through the top of the water, and you continue rising up, up, up until you're above the clouds, and you are flying, and even more tension has been released. And you don't have to be pushing yourself through the air. You don't have to be using wings. You are simply shooting through the sky, and the clouds are below you, and the sun is ahead of you. And that tension has been released from your body. And just as you are able to fly. Think again of the name of the quality of movement, flying. And try to remember the imagery that you're working with. You started with clay, then you had water, and now you only have air holding your muscles back. So what's it like to explore those same spaces again? You can always go back to just your fingers flying, and just your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, your ankles. How is flying different from floating? And what would it be like if you had to fly by using your knees or by using your waist? Have you tried engaging your shoulder blades, your lower back, releasing that energy by flying? And remember to explore those spaces behind you and above you and closer to the ground. That golden energy that you built up within your body continues to build and build and build. And all of a sudden, that golden light explodes out of every part of your body, and you are radiating. Every pore is shooting out golden light. All of that energy that you had built up inside of your body is now leaving your body. You are radiating that energy. What does radiating look like to you? You might be the sun, with energy exploding out in all directions. Let all of that tension, all of that energy that you had in your muscles completely leave your body. What does that movement feel like for you? How is radiating different from all of the other qualities of movement? How can you radiate with your eyebrows and with your elbows and with your ankles? The more you can imagine what it might be like to be producing all of that energy, whatever you can do to imagine that is going to inform your movements and inform how your muscles feel. And again, you can always take it back to just your fingers. Radiate from your fingers, radiate from your palms and your wrists, and build it up from the smallest part of your body. You can even start with your toes. Radiate from your ankles to your knees to your hips. What does radiating look like to you? Try imagining it a different way and see how that changes your movement. When I snap, I want you to jump back to molding. All of a sudden, that clay has encased your body again. And you're no longer free to be producing that energy. All of the tension should return to those muscles. And again, you are digging your way through the earth, not just with your hands, but with every part of your body. You are molding that clay with your hips and your chest and your neck and your eyebrows and your ears and your toes. When I snap, I want you to jump to flying. All of that clay has been shed from your body, and you are soaring through the air, and you are flying with your shoulder blades and your elbows and your jaw. And you are exploring the spaces low to the ground and above you and behind your back, but now you are flying. And bring back that imagery that you created. How is flying different from molding? And what can you explore differently this time that you didn't explore when you were flying the first time? When I snap my fingers, I want you to shift down just to floating. A little bit of that tension has been reintroduced, and you're back in the water. And what is that slight shift in energy for you? And what can you do now with floating that you didn't do the first time through? Are you floating with every muscle in your legs? Are you exploring that area low to the ground? Are you using that imagery of floating in the middle of the ocean? And again, you find yourself above a pool of golden light. And with each breath, you will let the energy in your body sink back into that pool of golden light. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Each breath should be deeper than the last. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And the last one. Breathe in. Breathe out.